Morning, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting of the Chattanooga Beer Board to order. Welcome, everyone. If you're attending the meeting and you haven't signed the sign-in sheet yet, please do so. Please silence all your electronic devices, and so we don't disrupt the meeting. And any individuals wishing to address the board must do so from the podium. Please adjust the mic, well, you can't adjust the microphone, but state your name before you make comments, and please speak up when you talk. Our first item on the agenda is the approval of the June 18th, 2025 meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Yeah, for the record, I will make a notation that the agenda says February 20th, but it is for June 18th. That's a typo. So all in favor of approving the minutes of June 18th, 2025 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Lori, will you swear in any witnesses today, please?
Anybody that's going to be coming to the podium to speak today needs to be sworn in at this time, so please stand and raise your right hand. That each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are giving today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Okay. So Bertha, beer applications approved by regulatory. Would you mind going down? Oh, there we go. Sorry.
So, it looks like everything has been approved. Is that right, Ms. Parker? Is that what you said?
So
all new applications have been approved.
so all the, how about the ones that were passed from the last meeting? They were not approved, were they?
All were approved except for 1324.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, 1324 and a
1320.
new beer application 1320.
1320. So all applications have been approved by regulatory except for 1324 and 1320. Okay, very good. Okay.
So do we need to go, don't we have to go?
Need to read them, I guess. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and read these into the record. Smart Music Project, Firefly Twilight Market, TE 87 has been approved. Oh, that's right. Is Mr. Smith, are you here for the golf?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our records indicate that it has not been approved by the building inspector yet.
Yeah.
Yes, please come to the
He
podium.
didn't swear, was it? He didn't see it, no, he didn't see it.
Have you been sworn in?
No, I'm sorry.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. What is your name?
Thomas Smith.
Thomas Smith.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So our records, am I correct? Our records indicate that it has not been approved by building yet.
Yes, we have to add a couple of handles walking up onto our porch, and those are being done hopefully
Okay.
this week.
Okay.
With the holiday, it might start next
Sure.
week.
All right, got it. All right.
I make a motion to send it back to regulatory.
Yeah. All right, so there's been a motion made to send it back to regulatory. Is there a second? Second discussion to that. So what we'll do, just for your information, as soon as you have that repair complete and building signs off on it, then regulatory will be able to approve it. You will not have to come back before us.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, very good. All in favor of approving that, I guess I'll call the roll. Zach?
Yes.
Betsy?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Veronica?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right. So now, let's go to. Now, is there anybody here for London Calling. Okay, if you'll come up to the podium, please, sir. Bertha, excuse me, is this also a building, waiting on building approval?
1320, yes, building needed also.
All right.
No, I'm just trying to catch up, I'm sorry. So that smart music been approved by regulatory?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We need to read those into the record?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that after we address this, and I'm gonna read all those into the record. Yeah, we'll take care of these two. So we're waiting for building to approve this.
Yes, sir.
And then once they approve this,
What is your name, sir?
My name is Giancarlo Fernandez.
okay, and, so once it's approved, then the regulatory authority will be able to approve it online, and then you will not have to come back
Yes, sir.
before us, okay?
Okay.
All right, just wanted to let you know that, so hopefully you can get that done as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
All right, now with that being said,
So do we make a motion to
well,
move
that's right, we need to make a motion. Is there a motion to send this back to regulatory?
I make a motion to send this to regulatory.
All right, is there a second? Second. Further discussion? All right, I'll call the roll. Christie?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Veronica?
Yes.
Ron? JW?
Yes.
Reginald? Yes. Betsy?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right, thank you. All right, now I will read in the ones that have been approved. Y'all bear with me, I left my glasses. Wait a minute, let me clear my eyes out there a little more. All right. So these are the following are the permits that have been approved by regulatory. Smart Music Project, Firefly Twilight Market, TE 87. Smart Music Hot as Hades Project, Hot as Hades, TE 89. Rise Chattanooga Pops on the River, TE 91. 100 Food 6 LLC, doing business as Chicken Beer-1322. Thirsty Elephants LLC, doing business as Yummy Thai Restaurant and Bar, Beer-1335, has been approved by regulatory. 3 Gin Inc., doing business as Beef O'Brady's, Beer-1346 has been approved. Los Mitch, DBA Los Mitch, Beer-1349 has been approved. Are there any other approvals that we need to add to the list? Okay, got that. Is there any other applicant to come before us today? I don't think so. I think we're good. Now, next item on the agenda is discussion. Just to let everybody know that Nathan Bedford has paid a fee of $750 for his violation. So that is now closed, I would think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it, but they have paid their fine. So,
And what was the next step on that? The next step is they had so many days to get their license right, correct? Now, will we be notified when that happened? And I want to retract, thank you for putting that in the notes, because sometimes when people are to pay a fine, we don't know that process, if they did it or not.
right,
And they can still remain in violation, so thank you for doing that.
right.
Now, will we know when they did get it right? Would you go back and just put it back in the minutes as well and let us know?
They will have to submit a new application, and I have not seen that yet.
Okay,
So
gotcha,
they'll have to come back before us one more time. Okay.
gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any public comment? Anybody from the public wish to address us today?
I have one thing.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it's public comment, but I caught wind, I don't know the business. So I caught wind of another instance where a business owner came in and didn't put the other business owners' names on the renewal. And so therefore, the beer permit is on the wall without who should be on the beer permit. which is another instance where they, I guess, is it the Treasury Department that handles that?
That's
So
correct.
that's the second instance in the last couple months that we've seen.
You know,
I have a question, let me ask a question to that. So is it required that all owners are on the beer permit? If they own 5%. 5% or more, then they have to be listed on the beer permit. Okay.
so just maybe that person didn't have 5%.
I think it's a 50-50.
All
Oh,
right, well,
I have no idea who it is.
okay, but you just, yeah.
I like the.
I heard from a credible source.
Okay.
I get it.
For the sake of the record, let's clear that.
But I understand, yeah, that's, if the public knows of violations, we encourage them to let us know. Let the enforcement division know is really the first step.
And I don't know if we can do anything about this particular instance, because it'll just have to come up by somebody else.
Right.
But the process itself needs some amending, I think.
There's a little looseness in it, in
Yeah,
there.
for some quality control.
And unfortunately, the process has worked until now, where it's just done under oath. And
Right.
so we expect people to abide by that. But a lot of businesses don't have any written documentation of who owns the business. They report to us. They don't have to have written documentation.
No, it's a handshake deal.
Right, but we might need a one-pager, a sentence, or something.
Affidavit.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought during the process, we decided or heard that, and Trevor read to us that they're under oath, and yes, they are under oath. So it has to be truthful.
Clearly.
Huh?
It's listed very clearly that if you own 5% or more, you have to be on the license. I think after a few times of people paying money for it, maybe they'll stop. But Catherine said last time, a lot of times, these businesses, you're not even open yet when you're applying for these.
Right.
How are you gonna check to see who owns the business, or all that stuff is still in process? I mean, maybe if we went back a few months later and checked to see if everything was in balance, but that's insane. That's why they're under oath. Puts it on the permit holder. You're supposed to follow the rules, that's the rules.
On the, when you're filling out for the application, that all owners must be on the
Anybody that
application?
owns 5% or more of the business,
Yeah,
it says it
right
very
there.
clearly,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's deceitful if you go in there and you don't have it.
Ron, you
I
raised your
think I
hand.
got it.
You got it? Okay. All right, any other comments or questions from the board members?
I do have one more to say. Eddie was going to report back.
Oh, Eddie, yes.
Yeah, I want to hear what Eddie's got to say.
Yes, thank you, Ron. Eddie, I know y'all haven't been busy this week or anything.
It's been crazy. Eddie Davis, TriStar Beverage. Yes, a report back to our corporate office about the conditions. If they're revoked, we cannot sell to them, of course, but if they are suspended, we still can. One other item that I didn't know, it just recently came up.
Well, they don't have one. If we just said they didn't have really have a license.
If they do not have a license, we do not sell to them.
Are you going to sell to Urban? I mean, not Urban, Reload, Uptown Reload?
They do have a license.
Not that I know have, did they go through a civil court process, or I did not know that?
Well, we decided here last week that they didn't, or last meeting, that their license was improper.
Right. If they're,
Revoke
but I thought of this board, they said they could have X amount of time, whatever it was, 6 months to renew that. And so they are currently being sold
But
to.
I'm trying to figure out what Budweiser's position is on that.
As long as the beer permit is not revoked, that's the catch-all, is the revoked. Now, if they're just suspended,
That makes sense.
you know, most bars, most grocery stores or whatever establishments get deliveries maybe once, some two, just depending on the volume. But if they're suspended, they still need to get, because if they don't get it the week they're supposed to, they're going to be out for 2 weeks. So it's the owner's responsibility not to sell it. On the suspension, the board gets out,
Right,
in our opinion.
right.
One other thing is on the application fee for, do they have to provide a sales and use tax document from the state of Tennessee to get a beer permit? This is how they pay their taxes to the state. I've run across this.
No.
You know, I didn't know if that could be a requirement that they have to have, because that's how they pay their taxes. And I fight with people to get this document so they can, we got a beer permit, you know. Just because we got a federal doesn't mean state trumps, you know, foresees that. You know, you got to have the state of Tennessee, because we do have the tightest beer laws in Tennessee as far as
Right.
taxes and everything else.
So let me make sure I understand it. So, if I am say a convenience store or whatever, if I've got my beer permit, I also have to have that, sales
CNC?
and use tax ID number.
And it has to match the location of your business or wherever the event is.
And then when I buy my beer from you.
Correct.
You charge me the tax and then you withhold it and send it, or is the merchant responsible for paying
Merchant
it?
responsibility.
Okay, so it's not on the
You were so
distributor.
tax-free.
Okay, but y'all are not gonna sell if they don't have that sales
That's
and use
correct.
tax.
What's the proper name of that for?
It's the sales and use
It's a
tax.
Tennessee sales and,
Wait a minute.
a Tennessee sales and use document. Or if you have a 501c3, you have an exemption letter from the state of Tennessee. You can get a federal too, and I'm gonna bring it up. Pops in the Park, perfect example. 501c3 company do it, they have a federal, they do not have a state. That's something you have to apply for, which is $50.
Right.
But, you know, I'm gonna work out with this gentleman and it's through RISE, great organization. So we're gonna get this worked out with them, but
Right.
I just thought that should be maybe a requirement.
Are those supposed to be posted at the location of the places?
I think they are.
Both applications, right?
I think that document is posted on these merchants, isn't it? Where you have your legal, you know, you got your beer license posted, and I think I've seen the Tennessee sales and use. You know, somebody like me, I walk in, I go look at all the permits. That's terrible.
Unfortunately,
I know, get a life, right.
regulatory may look at their permit, I don't.
But, yeah, I'm not sure whether it has to be posted or not. I don't think it does.
It's not required to be posted, and it's not a part of the beer application.
Right.
Right.
It doesn't have to, so, okay.
I think honestly, it goes to making sure that your business, Zach said it earlier, is set up properly.
That's
Correct.
correct.
And a lot of people, that do not do that, because then you're gonna have to pay the IRS, we pay the IRS monthly.
Correct.
And all of that is checkbox, so most people are not paying an accountant to do that.
Right.
I think when we do that, our agenda will be full.
Right. You know, the
That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
taxes are different whenever you sell a case of beer or a bottle of wine or whatever versus an on-premise account that sells it by the drink.
Correct.
The sales tax is tremendously different.
Tremendous high.
Right.
You're
Right.
taxing on one versus 24 or, you know, 5 pours out of a wine bottle, you know, something like that.
And that's another whole tax.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
So if they come to you and they don't have that form and you tell them, I can't sell to you,
Correct.
do they go get that form and then bring it back?
Well, like in this case, the event's tonight. So, you know, there again, here we are in this gray area, you know. I mean, unfortunately, it's not that much alcohol. I mean, they, 10 cases for me, then of course Miller, and I haven't talked to Cherokee Distributing to see what they're doing, how they set the count up, and I would love to hear what they've done. I mean, they might have had something from last year, but they still have this permit. I've got the permit from the city for it, but I just don't have I have a federal nonprofit letter, which I know they're legit, but they still have to have that Tennessee exemption letter before our company.
Right.
I mean, there's no doubt they're going to pay their taxes, but our
Right.
company requires that to have that Tennessee, whatever state you're residing in, it has to, the address has to match, the location number. It's taxes. It's all it is. It's about taxes.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can enforce that. Like, we can't.
You can't.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't.
When you're setting up a business, this takes forever. Getting your liquor license, taking your
Right.
beer license, there's a lot of back and forth with the state, if that was the case, you would never open. I mean,
Unfortunately.
you were just waiting for everything. It's, again, eventually they'll get caught. That's the way the law works.
Yeah.
In most cases, if you're supposed to follow it, and if you break it, eventually you'll get caught, and you'll pay your fine for it. But we can't,
No, I don't.
what are we
I'm
gonna
with
hold
you.
beer license? It took us like 2 months to get a liquor license because the state kept coming back. Oh yeah, we forgot, fill this out, fill that out, send it back, and they'd say, oh, wait a minute, we also need this, after they sent us a packet of what to fill out.
Right.
So if that was the case, I mean, I guess the best thing to do would be you follow the law and I'll follow the law and it'll all come out in the wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that would be, because for us to hold someone's beer license up because they don't have that number yet,
And that's a state number, then we'd have to give you, then we'd have to be communicating with the state all the time.
collection, and that has nothing to do with the taxes they pay in the city of Chattanooga and Hamilton County.
That's true.
Right. Okay.
Just something I thought about.
Good point. That's
You know,
interesting.
Something, but as far as the suspension or revocation of the beer permit, you know, if they lose their beer permit, we do not sell to them. We cut their account off.
Well, in this case, I'm talking about, we're not gonna know, I mean, after 60 days, we're not necessarily gonna know if they got a new license. Well, we'll know
we
it,
will.
but,
No.
You will.
well, we will, but the world out there won't really know that they got a new license.
Right. Ms. Bertha's very good about communicating back out who is, you know, delinquent.
That's what I
And,
see here.
yeah, she's very good, you know, about reporting back who's delinquent, who hasn't, who renewed. You know, she's very good about that. We communicate email, you know, a couple times a month.
Credit to your company, you're here keeping up with what's going on.
Yes, and,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
Credit to you and your company.
right.
So y'all stay on top of it, and that's important.
So,
Okay.
I just, question, I know you said Bertha sends you a list, y'all communicate about beer license being expired.
Right. Or delinquent was what?
Delinquent?
Yeah.
Do you still, and you may have said this, I missed it, do you still deliver if they are delinquent?
No.
So, okay, if they miss that year mark, I think it's for a year, then,
Well, like I said, if I can communicate it out to the salesman and everything, he usually goes in and makes contact with them and says, hey, you know, we got this, you're delinquent, you don't have a legal license, we can't sell it to you this week.
Right.
Once you get that new permit, send it to us, we're good to go.
but you don't know if your competitors do the same?
I do not.
No.
See, Cherokee used to be here, just like.
Oh, yeah.
They were.
Good company, I mean,
Oh, yeah. Well, but it was before it was Cherokee. It was
Carter Distributing,
Carter's at that time.
yes.
And since Cherokee is bought out, there's never been a representation here, to my knowledge.
They're not here anymore,
No.
right?
Cherokee?
Yeah, they're
No,
not,
Cherokee's what bought it, Carter's.
They're off,
but they're not located in Chattanooga anymore, are they?
yeah, they're on exit 9 off Ooltewah.
I
in
know.
They
Ooltewah.
work on
On my
Epsom Heights.
house.
What is that? Summit
Right by the
exit.
My
FedEx
deliveries come from
distribution place.
Knoxville.
Yeah.
No, they're here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Any other comments or questions from the board?
Good deliveries from Cherokee.
I couldn't hear you.
That you communicated
Oh,
with?
so they don't have
Good.
to show up because you're communicating with them.
Everybody else is
Okay,
okay,
very
'cause they
good.
said it's coming out of Knoxville.
All right. If there's no other business, is there a motion to adjourn, and happy 4th of July to everyone?
Thank you. Motion to
Hey,
All
adjourn.
in favor?
Look at our new attorney, let's welcome our new attorney for the day.
Oh,
For
I'm
the day.
for the day.
For the day. You didn't have to say anything.
She's not taking this on full time.
All right, all in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
Get money back on the meeting.